Welcome everybody to this presentation on coherence and abundance and how these concepts are interrelated when we are looking to live a fulfilled life and identify some of the things that we might have in our hearts as perhaps where can I create more abundance in my life in the different aspects of your health, your wealth, your love, your relationships, and other things. So I would love for you to have that pen and paper handy or somewhere where you can just make even maybe those mental notes if you're listening to this in a recording and you're driving or something, and have this presentation be an opportunity for you to reflect on these concepts and how you can move through these through these concepts to support your evolution and your growth. So let's start really off by, what does abundance mean to you? Let's start with those basic things. When you think about abundance, what does that evoke in you? And it's tough enough for anyone. General first. So it doesn't have to, abundance is such a big concept. So let's start just by, what does abundance mean to you? And what does it feel like? So we will be talking a lot about this, what we think and how we feel. So what is abundance to you? What does it mean to you conceptually? And how does it feel to you in your body? Okay. All right, here's my screen. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so when we think about abundance, what emotions arise? Do you feel excited? And make sure you write that down. And maybe there's certain things that you feel excited about, like, oh, when you think about, oh, I have an abundance of friendships, and that makes me feel excited and fulfilled. What about when you think about abundance in your finances? Does that make you feel anxious, fearful, contracted? Don't worry about the way you name the emotion. Just write those down. We're creating that awareness. And so how do you feel in your current level of let's go to health. When you think about abundance in terms of health, what does that arise to you? Does freedom arise? Does fear, lack arise? So write those things down. Also, write down what thoughts may be associated with this. Like, I'm good now, but I don't know later. And anything that comes up. So we're really identifying where there's resistance, where there's contraction, and where there may be, this feeling is this sense of peace and freedom and possibility. So this is quite an experience. And I know I know that abundance is one of those concepts that everybody in the world has an opinion about, has a feeling about, because it shows up in our everyday life in all the aspects of our lives. Okay, so having said that, well, as we move through this session, we will explore how being in the state of coherence, that is that inner harmony, can help us tap into the infinite supply of abundance in all aspects of life. So that's what's beautiful about and exciting about this presentation, is that when we when coherence as a concept and actually as a lived experience that we can tap into every day of our life, when we merge these two together, we can actually see that, oh, where we can open ourselves to the potentials that already exist in all these aspects of our lives. And to notice how these feelings it can be softened, can be transmuted, can be alchemized, so that we can come back into alignment, so that that which we desire, that which life has caused us to desire, it is possible. There is a potential always in the field for us to have more and have balance and have that sense of freedom in all aspects of life. So, all right, so let's go to this graph, which is one of my favorites. And actually, I'm going to probably say that about the different graphs that I brought here today for this presentation. So this is the emotions and heart rhythms, basic concept that we need to understand about coherence. So when we look at those emotions that you wrote down, and try as I speak here, look at those. The top graph shows incoherence, shows that jagged red line going up and down. And then the bottom side, which has that beautiful blue like pattern that is coherent. So the upper side here is incoherence. Anytime we're feeling that, that frustration, that lack, like that fear, that where this is our heart rhythms inside. If we looked at our heartbeat when we're feeling that scared, or even if it's something as small as something that we're not super conscious of, but we have that fear of, oh, something's going to go wrong here, and we're not super aware about it, but it's still running in the background, quietly giving us that anxiety about, about money. Oh, I'm going to run out, or, oh, this person is going to leave me, or I'm going to, I can, I'm healthy now, but I don't know later. Notice how those emotions are always, when we are aware that they are there, this is what is happening inside of our this is the way our heart is beating, in correlation to those feelings. There is incoherence. So when we're incoherent, we're inhibiting our brain function. We're not thinking clearly. It really impairs our performance, and it's draining energy. It's like depending how strong the emotion is, it is really like leaking energy, either very strongly or just kind of dripping in the background. Whereas coherence is this, it promotes our performance, our optimal performance. It builds that resilience. It facilitates our brain function. It gives us that mental clarity to see, oh, yes, there is possibilities. Oh, yes, things are going to be all right. Oh, they're actually, it allows us to truly be able to tap into those potentials. Okay, so to go in this deeper, into the state of coherence, even deeper. So this graph shows the coherent state, and this was measured actually in real time, where, let's say we are in a meditation, and a meditation is where we're truly focused, and we're taking a moment to deliberately get into the coherent state. Now, I'll explain and elaborate a little bit more about how we can tune into this state in meditation, when we are in a practice, or when we're actually out and about doing something that we love, doing something that where we're flowing, where things are just going, we're really in this state of flow, in the state of optimal performance. So it's not only in meditation, it also can be when we are tapped into that beautiful place of feeling whole, feeling fulfilled. It could be out in our yard, it could be out on a walk, it could be sitting, sipping on something delicious that we desire. So the state of coherence is where our breathing, our respiration, our heart rate, and our blood pressure are all in this state of that harmony. So here you see in the middle part, there's kind of this left side where and again, this was taken in real time as a real example of somebody that shifted into coherence using a tool. Is a heart math tool called the quick coherence tool. So you can clearly see how the heartbeat, the respiration, and the blood pressure shift, and they come into this in the state of harmony. And if we just go back to this one, we see how, it's so, incoherence versus coherence versus harmony, jagged and kind of up and down and not in harmony versus being in harmony. So yeah, looking at my notes here, making sure that I don't forget anything important. So when we look at our notes and we look at okay, those emotions that we have felt, now just take a look, and I invite you to do this really as an exercise, because really what we're creating is awareness and consciousness about how every emotion that we feel when it comes to abundance, there is an inner experience happening, and it is very personal, and we can detect how, okay, when something is like, let's say you have to, I don't know, maybe the month comes and you have to do all these payments, for example, for all the things, your mortgage or your car payment, or it's come to the time where you have to take this trip that you have to take because you have to go to I don't know, an appointment or something related to health. Everything, we are having an inner experience, and the more we are conscious about our inner experience, the more aware we are of what is happening inside of us, and our ability to shift this inner experience without the outside world telling us, oh no, yeah, you have plenty of money, oh no, you're going to be fine. We're not waiting for something external to give us that feeling. We can have access to our own ability to self-regulate and to get into this state where, again, we're tapped into, there's always a way. There's infinite potentials to solve or to attract that which we actually truly do desire. So it's going in from, you see this as going from survival, like, oh, I need to live, I need to pay my rent, I need to be healthy, going from survival, from that incoherent state to the possibility, the potential that things are working out, and that they're going to be okay. When it comes to health, for example, we know that when we are in the coherent state, we are way more able to allow our body to restore, to regenerate, to have that capacity, that intelligence it has for renewing itself, for restoring itself. And when we are, let's say, in thinking about money and lack, if we stay in that lack or in this state, then that's all we will be able to see and witness, and we won't be able to see because our state is giving us that survival state where we're impaired, we are in that contraction that limits our ability to tap into and see that there are endless possibilities and opportunities and ways in which we can acquire that which we desire. And so seeing this and knowing that it is an inner experience that we can shift into at any given moment. Okay, I'm gonna move fast because I have more and I want to leave. Yeah, there's so this is another of my favorite graphs. And also just know that there's so many other presentations that I have, and I use these same graphs because it all comes down to these very basic concepts that it's either we're depleting our energy or renewing our energy. We're either in survival or we're in creation mode, in the creativity or in the endless possibilities. We're either in limiting our ability to see what is already there to, we can see all the potentials that are there. That is basically what this graph is showing us. When we are in depleting emotions like anger, frustration, burnout, withdrawal, resentment, for what? For our bodies not being healthy and strong, or we're not bringing in the amount of money, or the relationships that we have are creating chaos, then we're in the depleting state. We're in that contraction. We're in that incoherent state. When we're tapped into excitement and courage and passion and contentment and fulfillment and ease, we see all the possibilities. Our bodies are restoring and renewing itself. We are in an optimal state. And just to quickly mention the top side, the upper part and the lower part, just so we understand those 4 quadrants, is basically the sympathetic nervous system, which is high heart rate. So you can see that anger is high heart rate, but excitement is also high heart rate. Very 2 different qualities of the sympathetic or the high heart rate in motion. The lower side is the parasympathetic, so low heart rate, so burnout, resentment, versus fulfillment, contentment, ease. They're very different qualities, very different experiences. And in any of the emotions that you've jotted down from the beginning of how you feel about abundance, know that we can create that inner shift to bring us closer, in all of them, closer to hopefully what we want is to be on the right side of the grid. And so there are in our aspects of life, we have a certain what do I want to say? It's kind of like a set point. A set point, let's say, about our wealth. There's a certain amount of things that we're able to stand, but we don't want that anymore. Let's say we earn a certain amount of money, but it's feeling a little bit too contracted. We want to be able to feel more at ease. We want to be able to feel excited about travel, or about being able to purchase certain things, or not having to worry about money. Or, also maybe it's in our health. Maybe in our health, there's a set point of feeling uneasy or worried all the time. That would be on the left bottom side, where that energy is still draining. But we can shift closer into feeling at ease, feeling into, hey, there are many things that I can do. So hopefully you get this idea that in any aspect of our life, We're always going to have, you know, the way we feel about it, about certain things, and where we're going. And I think that that is what makes life so exciting, because there's always going to be a gap between where we are and where we would like to be. Life is always going to cause us to desire, want more of, or to be at ease, or to be at peace. And life is going to give us that in all aspects. And I know in all the stages of life, what we probably wanted when we were young is very different than what we want, what we desire, where we see us going right now. And maybe after our kids have gone, or maybe we're still in the point where we would like to have children. So this is always going to be our experience of, you know, life always causing us to desire certain abundance in different aspects of life. All right. Okay. So this next graph, this is from the this is a Hawkins map of consciousness, just to illustrate this, the emotional scale as well, and the frequencies. So if we could see it now in this way, when we are in guilt, let's say we're in shame or in fear and grief about abundance in money, for example, well, then we're vibrating at a lower, in terms of hertz. when we're feeling, oh, you know, like neutral about it, even neutrality is moving up that scale. And when we feel, let's say we get to a feeling of peace about money, or about love and our relationships, or then we are vibrating in a much higher state. And we know that when we are in this state of high vibration, of love, of peace, of freedom, freedom is probably one of the you know, just goes hand in hand with abundance, in abundance. And again, I think we all have a concept of abundance, but one of my favorite concepts is abundance is the ability to do what I would like to do, whenever I would like to do, with whomever I like to do it. We all have our own concept of abundance, but really, when we look at it, and I invite you to look at this and reflect, what does abundance feel like? And that's why I was asking you to tap into, okay, what does abundance feel like to you? I don't think many of us would say I feel shame and abundance. They just, that doesn't match. We feel this, you know, these higher vibrations, this higher elevated states. And I truly do believe that when we are in, you know, again, life is always going to cause us, there's always going to be that gap, but it is moving towards this part of the grid, the right side of the grid, which is giving us energy, that in this giving our of energy, in the state where we are renewing our energy. And I forgot to mention, but this is a good time to mention that when we are feeling love, excitement, courage, passion, our bodies are producing hormones that are vitality hormones. DHEA is also known as the vitality hormone. So that is giving us this sense of possibility, of you know, of life, vitality. When we're in anger, frustration, withdrawal, resentment, our body is producing cortisol, which is that hormone that degenerates us. And so when we think about, okay, where are we on the emotional scale, on the different aspects of life? Oh, okay, yikes. Well, if I'm spending too much time here in guilt and shame, or apathy, or grief, or fear, about money, or about my relationships, or about um, um, my health, then I am actually, this is not loving to me, because I am really, you know, I'm hurting to myself. I'm creating hormones that are degenerating my body. Well, that's not going to, that's kind of counterproductive. And the also the beautiful and compassionate way to look at this is that we we are human beings, and we will experience this quadrant of emotions. We will experience the burnout, and we will experience the anger and the frustration and the resentment. That is what builds that gap. That's what makes life exciting, because when we know what we don't want, we know more clearly what we do want. The beautiful key, and this is what I'll go into now, is giving us a short tool, a meditation, to help us get closer to the right side of the grid and shorten the time. It's the key is to shorten the time and actually allow for the depleting emotion to serve its purpose. It's telling us, it's just a signal that it's telling us, oh, okay, this is what I do not want. But out of this desire, the clarity is born of what I truly do want. And when we can have the confidence to know that it is possible to have that other side, what it is, what the negative emotion or the depleting emotion is telling us, it's a signal. Oh, then I can be, then that is my desire. Then I can work towards that, and not spend so much time in the depleting emotion that is making us sick, or making us sad, or stay way too long that we need in these depleting emotions, in these lower frequencies. All right, okay, so let's go to this. Let me make sure. Yes, okay. So this is the shift. I'm going to play this is a 5-minute meditation, so I think I'll be done a little bit close to the time. But I really want you to experience this, and to take away how easy it can be to, all right, identify those emotions that you wrote down that are in the lower side of the grid, and in the left lower side of the grid, about abundance, about your wealth, your health, your relationships, or any other aspect. And know that, ooh, when I can see it more clearly, when I can shift my emotion about this, I can suddenly tap into the infinite potentials that actually do exist. Because why? I will have the inner state to allow me to see that, and my body will be tapped into that source, to that infinite source where everything is possible. Okay, let me play the music here and play and by the way, this is the first meditation in our Coherence Abundance Challenge. This is the first meditation, which I shared with the group this morning. Let me open it up. Open up the music. Right, so, all right, so let's find that comfortable seated position. Back straight, shoulders relaxed. You can place both hands for your heart. Just to allow all that energy, all your focus and attention to flow in and out through the heart. You count to about 5 seconds. 5 seconds on the exhale. Doing that slower and deeper breathing. Now, as you continue breathing in and out your heart, slower and deeper. Make a sincere attempt now to activate a feeling of appreciation. Appreciation. The breath in your lungs. For that air that oxygenates every cell of your body. Let your heart swell with gratitude. For the life that moves through you. The intelligence that beats your heart. For the unseen beauty within you. And all around you. Allow yourself to feel how this unseen intelligence is full of life. Always present. Always loving. Always responding. This frequency of appreciation, you line up with source within you and all around you. Let the breath breathe itself. Allow the sensation of wholeness to gently be witnessed by you. Where there is no separation. Where there's only and in this unity, everything you desire is already possible. Now take one more slow inhale. Bring this awareness with you to about the day. Big. There you go. There you have it. I would love to, well, I'd like to close the recording to allow for a conversation with you here that are present, that I'm so excited. And for those that are watching this recording afterwards, I'd love to invite you to come into not only the Coherence Meditation Gym, but we're doing a challenge right now, 21 days of these meditations. And if you see this after the fact, there's always events happening. You can always reach out to me. This is an introduction tool of a whole system that I teach as I bring in heart math. I'm heart math coach since 2016. So this is one small tool of an array of a system that you can build into your life as an upgrade, so that you can start seeing all these possibilities and they just become innate to who you are, because this is what you live and breathe, and it is something that is accessible and it's trainable. It's a trainable skill that it is invaluable to our life. It really truly helps us live a more fulfilled and wonderful life that is on purpose. And not to mention, oh my gosh, well, you tapping into your GPS and your intuition. Okay, so having said that, thank you all who, and now, as I stop the recording, let's start the conversation. And thank you, everybody else. Make sure you always come back to your heart.